62 degrees outside. Wow, it's mild. 65 degrees inside. Turned on the heat yesterday. Experiencing our fourth round of downpours here on Cape Cod this Monday morning. It's late. It's about 11 a.m. and I'm giving Steve he's in Weymouth, and T-Rex the day off. It was just pouring about 2 seconds ago. This is day two of what's like a 4-day play-by-play weather event. Did some harvesting in the garden yesterday. Anybody want to identify that? They called it a winter gourd on the seed. World's smallest, cutest butternut. Tomatoes that I found in the compost pile that I didn't know I had. And this pumpkin will turn orange. The sky has been fascinating this morning. Here's a webcam image from... I'm going to start with Weymouth, actually. I'm going to show you the webcam image from Weymouth. That's where we usually go out the door with Steve. And look at the flag straight out from the northeast. The wind in Boston and just about all of New England last night was from the northeast and north. And it was just gray and chilly and off and on rain. All right, now here we are in South Dennis. There's the webcam. You see some brightening. Now look at the webcam imagery from South Dennis. And the air is coming from the exact opposite direction, from the southwest and west. And we had thunderstorms beginning last evening. Another round in the middle of the night woke me up. That's one of the reasons I'm late. And then another round woke me up again at 9 a.m. And here we are at 11 a.m. with much deeper puddles than I had anticipated, that's for sure. It looked like the boundary was going to stay a little further north. So those of you that chose the more southern track for these low pressure systems, it's not like one system. There are two waves primarily. There were three, but now there are primarily two waves of low pressure, and they're strung out on a front that's just right over Cape Cod and west to Pennsylvania. And there's another low in central New York. Here's the surface analysis. It's very busy. The black number is the temperature. The red number is the wind gust, and the blue number is the dew point. So if you look at Nantucket this morning, it was 66 degrees with a southwest wind gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. And then on the coast of Maine, the wind was from the northeast off the mid-coast, gusting past 30 miles an hour. You look right over central New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire, the cross means it was calm, no air moving at all near the ground. And then go up to New York, and in northern New York and near Lake Ontario, wind from the north-northeast gusting 30 to 40. And then south of Binghamton, New York, where it's calm, the air is from the south. So that is an incredible amount of convergence near the ground. Here in South Dennis, we have 61 degrees on this thermometer with the sun trying to come out. And I do have my bucket rain gauge over here. We'll walk toward that. And here's the Weather Prediction Center take on this strung out frontal system from just before the sun came up this morning. There's the low that's kind of moving off of Cape Cod with the front right over us. And the next low is very close to Binghamton, New York. So the Euro was a little too far north on that. Let's go over here and check this bucket with the turkey feather in it. Not much. It looks like less than a quarter of an inch. So here on Cape Cod, it's about a quarter inch more than I thought we were going to get, and really cleaned up the compost pile yesterday. Look at that, beautiful. Took out all those pumpkins and everything, and now something's already been digging in here. This is the worm farm, but the worms aren't here. This is the leaf from several winters ago, or fall, and the worms are right in there in the middle, and that's the fresh stuff. Anyhow, let's go back to the weather. And the weather is changing by the minute, and this is only the second day of what's going to play out over 4 days. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we're watching rain change to snow in New York. And this webcam from Whiteface at 10 a.m. That's mid-mountain. And you can see the snow's not really sticking to the cement, but it is sticking to the surfaces of the tables. And the snowleage season is here. That's when you get snow and there's still foliage. And Sugarloaf said happy snowleage day this morning before someone told them to change that post. They changed it to nice day for snowleage. And so that's what it is, a nice day. Now that Sugarloaf snow was from the predecessor wave of low pressure. It was snowing at Sugarloaf yesterday, late in the day, and last night. And since then, the second wave of low pressure coming across New York pushed warmer air to northern New Hampshire and Maine. So you have this oscillating boundary. And at Mount Washington this morning, as the first wave went east of Cape Cod, there was a sudden temperature drop from 32 to 27. But then as the second wave was approaching, that's pushing the air back in from the south, the temperature jumped back up to 32. So the freezing level was 6,000 feet in New Hampshire at 9 o'clock this morning. But then that freezing level is crashing down across northern Vermont. Josh Worth said it's already mixing and changing to snow at 1,800 feet near Jay Peak. And we saw the snow in the Adirondacks. So now how long is it going to snow? Let's defer to the HRRR now. We're not going to talk about the global models. GFS had about 1.5 feet of snow for northern Vermont. The Euro had about 3 inches, and I think that the HRR is going to be a good compromise here. And there's the blue is snow, green is rain, and there's really a definitive back end to this steady precipitation coming in about sunset tonight with the low pressure system redeveloping on the coast of Maine and going north and out of the picture. So tomorrow it's just windy, and it doesn't even show too much snow or anything going on at all. Just a northwest wind and cold, but there will be upslope snow happening here. I think this is underdone. And then there's going to be another push with the heart of the upper level low pressure system coming in tomorrow night and early Wednesday. And this only goes out 48 hours, so it doesn't go into how much more on Wednesday. I don't think there'll be much more on Wednesday. So if we turn on how much snow and run that, you see there are some purple spots in there, mostly right across the border into southern Canada. And then the tops of your mountains in Vermont and tops of your mountains in New Hampshire are getting close to double digit. I think this could be underdone. I'm kind of leaning towards your idea that somebody's going to get 10 or more. Mount Mansfield, Whiteface, Jay. But if I put the cursor right over Jay at 48 hours, that's 12Z Wednesday, which is 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, with still a few more hours to go. It comes up with about 7 inches of snow at Jay. So you definitely will see some of your friends hiking up there, or maybe you will be the one hiking up there and supplying us some content over the next 2 days. This is definitely a play-by-play here, a work in progress, if you will, on deciding how this weather is going to play out. You look at the Boston 5-day, and it's just really nice after today, and these showers end. The sun may come out today for a pretty sunset, maybe a couple of rainbows around if these scattered showers maintain themselves, but I think they're probably going to shut off. And the dew point crashes. Now, a couple days ago, it had the dew point at 60 going in the 30s, and today, now the dew point's only going up into the low 50s and coming down. So that's another indication that the Euro was too far north on its guidance. And then the next couple days, it's going to be windy with temperatures only in the mid 50s for highs in Boston, and the dew points in the 30s and even upper 20s. So that means any place that can decouple the atmosphere at night, and it's going to be difficult because it's so windy, will be having lows in the 20s and 30s. So the feel of November is here for the next 2 or 3 days. Then it rebounds really nice by the weekend. And then if we go to the Euro and start it at 8 o'clock this morning, and there's the 1,001 millibar low right over Binghamton instead of being a 999 over Lake Ontario. It's a little weaker and a little further to the east and south than the consistency of the last 48 hours, and widen it out here. And you see the 1035 high. Wow, that is the heart of the cold right there north of Lake Superior. And you see the 522 blue dashed line. That is the heart of the upper level cold. We talk about 540 being cold enough for snow, 534 decameters being cold enough for snow down below 2,000 feet. And then when you get to 528 and 522 thicknesses, that's cold enough for snow all the way down into the lowest elevations in the valleys. And that heart of that cold is going to push south, and it's going to expand. The crows. I like the crows. My neighbor says he saw a peregrine falcon take out a crow here a few days ago. I didn't know we had peregrines on Cape Cod. Here we are, calling the play-by-play on the weather. I'll put that back into motion in a second, but there's the sun. Don't stare at the sun, Tim. Don't stare at the sun. Don't stare at the sun, son. All right, now we're going to put those maps into motion. I'm going to widen it out here, and we can watch the low-pressure system deepen over eastern Maine. The back edge of the precipitation kind of pulls out here tonight and tomorrow. And then if you stop tomorrow morning again, you'll have the low pretty much north of Maine in the low 990s, and that high pressure system coming over the Great Lakes, and not much going on in New England with the upper level, those blue dashed lines. The upper level low is kind of stretched out from southeastern Canada into all the way down into Indiana Indiana and Ohio. And now keep that moving. There's some upslope snow redeveloping here Tuesday night into Wednesday. And I think there's the back edge of our potential accumulating snow on Wednesday. And then if we keep going into Thursday, now you have the red lines coming at us from the northwest, warmer air in southern Canada. And if we freeze it on Thursday morning, we are done with air cold enough for snow in New England, but you do see one blue circle south of Nantucket. That is the last of the heart of this upper level low, with a new low developing on the front way out there between Nantucket and Bermuda. And at that point, we have warmer air coming at us from the Midwest. And this is a big, strong high. And it's starting to snow again in the west, so we're going to shift gears this week, and it's going to start snowing. When it stops here, it's going to start snowing again in the Rockies up to British Columbia, where there's a lot of wintry weather in the forecast. And now let's keep that going. The weekend, there was a front the last 2 days coming at us Sunday night and Monday, and now it's kind of gone. There's a weak front there, but it looks like the warmth wants to stick with us right through next weekend. And then we go all the way out to late on Wednesday, the 23rd. Now we're at day 10. And we'll stop it there. High pressure system is still around the east, and we've got a 985 low north of New England with a front just about to come through here. Again, this is in 10 days, and it would return the cooler air around the 25th heading toward Halloween. And if you go south, what's up with the potential Nadine? Well, this is good news. It's back to where it was about 3 days ago, with Nadine maybe having formed but recurving north of the Caribbean and headed south from Bermuda as not in a very impressive storm. So no need for alarm in the hurricane department. The National Hurricane Center says there's about a 40% chance that Nadine may develop in the next 7 days. Only a 10% chance in the next 2 days. So there's some good news there. Am I going to chase to northern Vermont and hike up the mountain? Probably not. I mean, I do have other work to do here. So that is the end of our weather forecast part, and here is the end more. And the guests that stayed here last week, thank you, Tom and everyone from Maine. They cleaned out the weeds in my asparagus, and those are the asparagus seed. So I guess both the roots propagate year after year and the seed propagates. So my dad did this whole thing. I just inherited it. And so I'm going to clean that out. And then I brought this in from Scituate. And then you got the iris. They're fine. And then Kevin and I cleaned out another corner of the rescue garden, that peony there. It's going to get trimmed down to the ground here pretty soon. And we put in a bunch of new daylilies, different kinds of lilies. And Angela even labeled them for us. Can I even read that? It's upside down. What's that say? Angela, thank you for this. Round Midnight Daylily. And so this is going to be a pretty corner in the springtime. We're going to clean this all up. It's going to look a lot better at springtime. That's going to be burned. Now we've taken truckloads of stuff out of here. And that's a nice lilac there. And this hydrangea is doing fine. That's ready to be graduated out. And somehow some of that hibiscus, otherwise known as Rose of Sharon, from over there, spread over to here. I don't know if the birds do that. Did the seed do that? And there's some of those black-eyed Susans, I think, right there. And there's some seeds. So if you leave these things in the fall, the birds will eat seeds and they'll love them. There's a rose ready to come out. And all kinds of different things under there, including those gourds we saw in the front yard. Yesterday, to the end more from yesterday, it was an interesting day here, watching the sky and all those roll clouds. I'll try and explain what those roll clouds, those waves in the sky, were all about, and then we'll take off and do a little tour. Stop by Peter's shop to say hello, Peter Hecking, and he's changing the track on his dingo. Have you ever changed the track on a dingo? You need big hammers, strong arms, levers, and a blowtorch. And someone to push the throttle for you. I get to push the throttle. That was fun, Peter. And I stopped by Devil's Purse for the block party. And I saw Steve for the first time in so long, taking video and pictures of Tina and Jean. I hope you get your name right, Tina and Jean. So these videos are about the weather and a lot more. They're a lot of times made just so my friends can see them. I love making new friends. And like when I started on TV 37 years ago. I said, we're going to get the viewers one viewer at a time. So thank you, new viewers and people that are here every single day. And tomorrow we will have Steve and T-Rex out the door where the sun should be shining near Boston tomorrow, as we're counting snowflakes in northern New England. What's the over-under for Mount Mansfield? No, Jay. Over-under for Jay. I'm going to go with 10 inches. Over-under. I'm going with 10 inches for Jay. All right? And a little less at Mount Mansfield. Talk to you tomorrow. I thought I saw the sun for a minute, but no solar heating today. It's cloudy on Cape Cod. It's close to 60 degrees outside, but it's also 60 degrees inside. And for that reason, the heat is turned on here in South Venice. It's up to 65 in the house now. No thanks to solar heating, maybe a tiny bit of solar heating. But we're so close to being on the edge where there is some sunshine way down there. That's looking south towards Nantucket Sound. And look at the sort of waves in the sky, undulating, altocumulus. It's because the air above those clouds is coming in from the west, 40, 50 miles an hour. And the air on the ground is calm. So sort of like water at the beach. The water goes over the sand and creates the waves due to the shear, with the wind on top moving and the wind down below not moving. It's like rolling a pencil on a table with your hand. Oh boy. Back to the scene of when I had to do real work. Pete's trying to change a traction. What are those things called anyway?
What, this machine?
The thing that makes it, the tire. It's not a tire. It's a track. He's stretching the track. Where's the track stretcher? Look at this. Real work. I couldn't imagine. Isn't there some weather to talk about? Patriots are down 21-7. They actually made it look good for a half a second. Oh, nothing like the smell of rubber burning in October afternoon. Yeah, one of the reasons I came over, not really so much to help, I'm trying to stay out of the way, but I hear there's a good score of stone. Oh, slate, look at that. So I think we learned that we want to do this in the parking lot in the summertime on the warm pavement, because heating it up worked. He got it on. Now he's got so much heavy. Good track. Save the other one for tomorrow. Sunday. Monday's off.
I don't even have the fucking adjuster on.
Anything with the word Bass River in it. They had me at hello. That was reverse. Block party. Amazing. We still have young turkeys here, and the young dogs were just close to the young turkeys. I'm not sure whether we were protecting the dogs from the turkeys or the turkeys from the dogs. They can run fast, huh?
Yeah, they do. And they fly.
T-Rex just like thinks they're other dogs. He doesn't really respond too much to them. He just looks at them, curious.
For these crazy ones, they're like meat. You want meat.
T-Rex. All right, it's Virga. The sky is so gray. It's almost trying to precipitate here. And perhaps it's snowing in the mountains of Vermont. Carl says it is. I say, well, that could be computer generated. Not sure. And we're gonna go work in the backyard a little bit. Patriots got manhandled again, so we didn't miss much there. And eclectic and more today. So here's my worm farm. I just put the leaves in a pile and the worms eat the leaves, and when they're done eating the leaves, it turns into beautiful loam, and that's what we have here. And then we just circulate it all through the gardens, and there's a huge pile of brush that we got to burn in our garden, but there's a lot of good stuff in there too. And it's my brother Kevin over there working. He's got one gear and it's forward. I can hear thunder right now. It's just about 8 o'clock. South Dennis, Bunsey's. This was not part of the plan. I can't believe that these showers just developed out of nowhere coming across southeastern Massachusetts. This is what I was talking about all week, how this weekend was really difficult. Thunderstorms and downpours near Cape Cod tonight. Just like constant thunder. Okay, I was wrong about the constant thunder. It's the Yarmouth Seaside Festival across the pond. But seriously though, there are thunderstorms all over the place this evening in southeastern Massachusetts that were not in the forecast. There's no downtime in weather. So anyhow, live from Cape Cod, just past 8 o'clock, fireworks with thunderstorms also moving just to our north. And that's a wrap for today. The weather is unpredictable. Mentioned a bunch of times that we didn't really know where this front was gonna line up, and we're right on it. Yarmouth Seaside Festival. And crickets.